Hi, I'm Ernie Conover. One of the great appeals of wood turning is that you can make beautiful objects quickly, anywhere from 15 minutes to a day, and you have something that you're ready to put finish on. Three of my favorite finishes. All are quick and easy to use and will give you spectacular results. The first has been around for about 250 years, and that's shellac. And I'm not talking hardware store shellac that comes in a can. I'm talking real shellac that comes in the form of flakes, and you dissolve this in alcohol. Here is a full strength solution that I mixed yesterday by filling the bottle up to about here with shellac flakes and then covering it with alcohol. I let it dissolve overnight, and I now have a full strength solution, or what would be called an 8-pound cut. And that would be 8 pounds of shellac dissolved in a gallon of alcohol. We want about a 2-pound cut for this quick and dirty French polish we're going to do. And so I diluted that master mix, 1 part full strength shellac to 3 parts alcohol to bring it down to a 2-pound cut. I apply it with a brush, very easy. And you do need the work sanded to 180 grit. Your finish won't be any better than your surface finish. So all I do now is brush this on the work. Hand wheel is very handy. I'm not running the lathe at all. It's just a vise to hold the work at the moment. Now that we've got the piece coated with shellac, I'm going to pull the tool rest for safety. And I'll get down and grab a handful of shavings from the floor. I'll start up the lathe now. You want plenty of speed for this. I'm going about 1800 RPMs, and I'll just burnish that shellac right in. There's enough heat generated by the chips rubbing on the surface that it flashes off the alcohol and actually melts the shellac. So you have a French polish with very little rigmarole involved. And there you can see we have a really nice finish. A great trick for washing the shellac out of your brush is a little ammonia, household ammonia, used as a cleaner. It will completely dissolve the shellac and is much cheaper than trying to do this with alcohol. And now I'd like to show you my next go-to finish, and that's Carnuba wax. I often use Carnuba by itself for things like children's tops, tool handles. It really holds up quite well and will bring out the beauty in wood almost instantly. But it also works very well over shellac. So without further ado, I'll start the lathe up. Again, I'm going at a pretty good speed here, about 1800 RPMs. And I'm just cramming this wax onto the piece. And again, I take paper towel or shavings and just burnish that in. Turners often call these types of wax-based finishes friction polishes, and it's an apt description because it takes speed and friction to make this finish work. And there you can see, shines beautifully. We've brought out the natural beauty of that wood. For faceplate work, I like an oil finish. My current favorite is Waterlock's original sealer finish, which is made right here in Cleveland, Ohio. Waterlox has been in business for over 100 years, and the 4th generation of the same family is now running it. One problem with oil finishes, and there's a wide variety of them on the market, is that they have a tremendous affinity for oxygen. The minute you open this can, it's trying to absorb oxygen out of the air, and that causes the polymerization that makes it so hard and durable. For that reason, I've probably thrown away more oil finish in my lifetime than I've used, because it tends to harden in the can. A solution is to decant a new can into smaller bottles immediately. I used to use baby food jars well to this end, but now Waterlox offers their finish in 2-ounce bottles. And yeah, it's a little more expensive that way, but it's really cheaper, because 2 ounces is about what you need to finish, say, a good sized bowl or a few pieces of this or that. The way you want to put it on is simply with a piece of cloth. I use old t-shirts that are pretty absorbent, and you just wipe it on. It's literally a wipe-on finish. Very easy. But it's better if you sand this in. When I first turned this bowl, I sanded it to 180 grit, and then I applied my oil finish and sanded it some more at that 180 grit, and then I burnished it with shavings from the floor like I do with shellac, and I let it dry for 24 hours. I'm now applying a second coat, and again I'm going to, running the lathe slowly, I'm going to sand this coat of finish in. And by sanding this with the oil, I'm creating a slurry of oil finish and wood dust. So I'm making a filler that perfectly matches the wood. I'll now wipe on a little bit more. And I sanded this coat with 220. The first coat was 180. This is 220. If I do a third coat, and that's if, it depends on what the intended use of the bowl will be. I will go to 320, and that will give me sort of a mirror finish if I want it. And now either paper towel or chips are good to burnish this with. I'm just lightly burnishing this. And there, the natural beauty of this piece of hickory is starting to come out in a very, very nice way. You want to be very careful about disposing of the rags, pieces of paper towel, shavings, brushes that you use to apply an oil finish. That is because oil finishes are prone to spontaneous combustion, and if left in your shop, they may catch fire. This is a good reason to have a safety can in your shop so that you can dispose of all these materials safely. And you always want to empty the safety can outside at the end of a workday. Sometimes you want an absolutely food-safe finish. And a very easy one is walnut oil, available at any good grocery store. You can pour it on salad, so it's very edible. And you can apply it with your hands. In fact, if your hands are a bit chapped, it'll help that problem too. Just pour a little on like this and rub it in. It takes this finish about a week to polymerize. It doesn't get real hard, but very easy to renew it. So there, you don't have to do anything more, just set it aside, let it soak in and dry. Cheap, easy, and food safe. The final finish I'd like to mention is a really easy one. That's no finish at all. Many things were turned in our grandparents' time and just sold raw, no finish applied whatsoever. They were used, often many of these things were things used in the kitchen, such as wood bowls, plates, platters, wood spoons, etc. And they were used with cooking oil and acquired a finish really from use. And we love them and cherish them today because of that patina they've acquired. You can do the same thing, and after a little use, your grandchildren will rave about them. Thanks for visiting.